Right, welcome to another Battlefield terrain tutorial. I've got a table set up for you here with a particular emphasis on a small detail, but something that can add so much theme and narrative to games of Warhammer 40,000. As per usual, I'll go through step by step to build this table up, show you how it's done. I'll link out to a few other videos for particular painting references and tutorials and so on. But the idea is that you can copy this and get the same kind of setups for your own games of Warhammer 40,000. So I'll show you the little extra touch that's been added to this board that I think just makes such a big difference. It really adds theme and narrative to your games. But the first step is your foundation, which is the Battle Mat. So Battle Mat here is from GameMat.eu. This one's called Cyberpunk. It's 60 inches across by 44 inches, so it's the exact right size for your regular games of 40k 10th edition. Rolls out nice and flat, so it's this mouse mat material. This is one of the mats upside down, just gives a nice backdrop here for the mat to go on top. Rolls out nice and flat, comes with a carry case as well, and it means that you've immediately got a nice flat playing surface, which is figure friendly. If the models fall over, it's a nice soft material, and then it's nice and quiet for dice rolling as well. You don't get the clattering sound when you're rolling your dice, which is great. And then they've got the colour scheme and the design printed on top. So for this one, it's like a grey, slight blue tone, some dark browns going on, sort of industrial scheme going on. There's plenty of detail on this one, as you can see. Love these grid effects around here. It's one of my favourite mats at the moment. There's a little bit of touch of yellow going on as well, some patches of it scattered across the board, but just creates nice areas of interest on the table. So that immediately gives you a colour palette to work with. So it's these kind of tones that we're looking at as colours for this board. Once the foundation's done, you're then building up the terrain. So this is mostly GameMat.eu terrain here, pre-painted terrain sets that they do. So I've got a full set of the industrial terrain set. So you get 4 of these containers here, 1, 2, and then 3, 4 across the other side. You get 4 of these structures here. There's 2 there, and there's 2 over in the other corner. You get the large structure across there, and you also get some of these pipes, which I've stacked. They come in 3s, and then I've stacked them up just to make them a bit taller on the board. You also get some boxes and barrels in with that set as well. So I'll leave a link for that in the video description below. There's also a single terrain piece, which is a nice feature piece to have in your games. That's the warp portal, it's called. This is a full piece just here. I've added my own walkway across the middle of it just there, but that's been added to this board. But that single piece, the industrial terrain set, as you can see, it fills up the table really well. A little bit of Games Workshop terrain being added in as well. Some of the AdMech terrain up here, painted up to match the colour scheme as well. So the industrial terrain set comes like in a rusty kind of brown, grey kind of colours. It's pre-painted and ready to use. I've then taken that terrain set and then adjusted the colours to match in with the board. So you can see the yellows and the grey and blue tones running through here. I've then done the same with these containers and with this as well. You can see the colour tone going on with this, generally sort of matching up with that, and the blue tones going on here as well. So the painting process is very, very fast. It's using, I actually use masking tape to separate these out. Use spray cans, spray them up. I use a darker brown on the undertones just there, again using the spray can, that darker brown matching in with the browns that you see across here. There is a full tutorial for this on the channel already, so I'll just put a link for that in the video description below. It shows you how you can transform your terrain. You can see the effects I've gone for across here, as well as the spray cans, some rusty effects, and then you can see the chipping effect, which is actually done very, very quickly using the sponge technique. So I've done it on that one, I've done it on these, done it on this Games Workshop terrain as well. So you can check that out. I'll leave a link for that in the video description below. The whole idea of it is very easy, very fast for you to do, and you can transform your terrain to match in with the battle mats. You've got this continuous theme running across the table. It just helps it all blend in, helps the narrative and the theme of the table. So that gives you your foundation and the main structure for your board. The next is like extras that you can add on. I think it's really worth doing. So we've got some pipes here. There, Games Workshop pipes running across there, really helping to add sort of the industrial theme. There's some Games Workshop 40k terrain accessories there. The barrels are from Games Workshop as well, but also custom-made chain link fences. So these are scratch built myself. It's car body aluminium repair kit. Gives you the mesh. Then there's the scale model barbed wire. You can get that from, you can look that up on eBay. Games Workshop used to make it. And then for the metal bars that you can see, the H-shaped beams, the H-beams and the I-beams running across here, that's called Plastruct. There is a full tutorial. A lot of people have been asking for this over the years. I have made a full tutorial for this on the channel. So they're scratch built, a bit fiddly to make. Once you've got them, they're so useful. So chain link fence, single piece, and then a double length as well. And you can just create these whole areas on your board. I think it's really worth doing it. Just nice grimdarks with a theme to it. And you can section off parts of your board for your games. Now, using that same process, I'll show you how to paint them as well, to paint them up and get them onto the board. You can also create walkways like this. So same materials. And these are great just for spanning across gaps on your board, just to add another dimension. This one fits just perfectly across here. It's a bit tricky putting models in the middle, so put a walkway across that. So you've got something spanning across that gap and better for models to sit on top. You can also make the posters as well. I've gone for a tall one, which can sit across. You can straddle across different things. Shorter ones here. So like these propaganda posters. So you could go on Google, type in Warhammer 40,000 propaganda posters, and you'll see artwork from Games Workshop and also from fans as well. And then I've printed those on paper, made a frame for them, and then put them together. And again, just really adding to the theme and narrative of your games. You can see I put a walkway across these two buildings. There's a walkway across there. Also actually structured one on top of that building as well, that main building from the industrial terrain set as well. But massive fan of these walkways. They're so useful, and whatever terrain you're using, you know, desert, industrial, jungle, whatever it is, you can use these walkways. So they've just got universal use. I found them to be very useful indeed. I'm planning to make some more actually, because they're very handy to have on the table. There's some battlefield tank traps as well across the board, and then stones and scatter. So these stones have actually been sprayed with a darker grey and then some brown washes, or you can use some brown spray to put them in a tray and just spray them up, and just trying to reflect the colours again that you see in the mat, and then just scatter them across the board, and it just blends your terrain in to the table, and just really helps just to settle everything into the board and just to add to that realism. See little piles of stones just here, for example, here at the base of the terrain. Just really adds to the realism for this board. And that just gives you that effect, just blending everything in with colours and then with all the accessories and extras being added on. So full tutorial for the chain link fences, but the same process for making the posters and the walkways. It's all in that one tutorial. You can check that out, and you'll be glad once you've made them, you can just use them for your games of 40k. So it's well worth going ahead with that. So there's one finishing touch here, which just adds so much more depth and narrative to your games, just creates real areas of interest on the table. For a good while, I've been running little accessories like this. There's a dead Terminator just there. Around here, there is this model here, which is from the Space Hulk board game set, painted up, and I just dot those kind of things around the board. But I've also got a set of Astra Militarum, not official GW, they're from an alternate company, but they've modelled them on the Death Corps of Krieg. I think they look really good. It's these casualty markers. Yeah, a nice big set of them. And I've painted them up here in sort of the general Astra Militarum colour scheme that we have on the channel. But I mean, take a look at these. They're so good. Massive fan of them. And you're just adding some real narrative to your boards. There's a Guardsman slain just there. And I've scattered them all around the table. These are all casualties. There's one there. That's the three that we just looked at. Casualties across the board, just really adding to the grimdark nature of your table. There's one just up here on top of the platform. I can't remember if I've put them around here somewhere. There's a cluster of them on top. Look at this, look. Such a nice touch to add to your tables. So that set you can get from Longbow Gaming. I'll leave a link for it in the video description below. They do 3D printed sculpts, alternate Games Workshop stuff. There's a wide variety of things from them, but one of those sets is the, I'll see if I can leave a direct link for it, but it's Imperial Guard Casualty set, and it's a brilliant accessories set to get a hold of. You get a good number of poses in that set, and then you can use them as scatter on the board, but really adding the emphasis, really adding the narrative to your games. You've got this nice strong 40k theme, really creating that kind of Warzone kind of feel to your table when you've got the casualties spread out across the table. So that's the tutorial. As per usual, we'll fade out with some music here. This time I'm going to find the casualties on the board, and you can see where they're situated on the table. That's the main theme I wanted to bring out with this board here, showing you the big structures, the battle mats, but then also the finishing touches that really can add the storyline, narrative, and depth to your tables. Thanks for watching. Keep a lookout for more videos in this series, and tune in next time.